Hello there everyone, uxwbill here once again with a video about a Duracraft warm mist humidifier. Some of you will undoubtedly remember this unit from a previous video of mine entitled, Is it a good idea to humidify this? Where I took a shot at running some Pepsi Cola through it in an effort to answer that question. As it turned out, it was not a good idea to humidify Pepsi Cola, and what's more, I did not buy this unit in an effort to damage or destroy it. Rather, I wanted to compare it to the much more common, at least around these parts, ultrasonic and impeller style humidifiers. Now, many different types of household appliances are not very complex internally, and this one is certainly no exception, as you can clearly see by looking at the control panel. The controls that are available are extremely simple in nature, and there are in fact only two indicator lights, one to tell you that the power is on, and another to tell you that the unit needs to be refilled. That's why I found this legend on top of the water tank so very interesting, as it clearly states, and you can probably see it, this humidifier uses new technology. Healthful mist, free of impurities, is almost invisible. Well, how does that work? I really had to wonder. So I decided to take the unit apart, and now I'll go ahead and share it with you. As you can see, there is not much to this thing. In fact, the plastic base is nothing more than a simple piece of molded plastic with no electrical connections or switches or anything inside it, unlike an ultrasonic humidifier where there is at the minimum a water level switch, some sort of driver circuit for the ultrasonic transducer, and typically a fan. There is definitely nothing so fancy going on here. In fact, you can see that the area where the water is contained is nothing more than a simple molded piece of plastic. Upon taking the business end of the unit out of place, you can also see that, like the ultrasonic humidifier, there is a float switch to shut this unit off in the event that water should run out, and then there is the humidity chamber. It's every bit as simple as it looks, folks. It's just a heating element. So I'm not sure where the claim of new technology producing almost perfectly pure and invisible mist comes from. With this unit's design essentially being nothing more than a heating element and some simple electrical wiring in a plastic casing, there just isn't a whole heck of a lot that can be said about it, but there are a few interesting aspects to even a simple device such as this unit's design. The first is the moisture output switch. Now this simply cuts the amount of power going to the heating element, and there are a couple different ways that this could be done. You could use two heating elements, or even a heating element with multiple taps on it. You could also put a big fat power resistor in series with the heating element, although that would result in significant dissipation of heat, and in a device whose casing is made entirely of inexpensive thermoplastic, that's probably not the best idea. So my guess is that when you place the switch in the low heat output position, a diode is actually placed in series with the heating element such that electricity is only conducted during part of the AC power line cycle. There is also an interesting item inside the water tank. You can see there's a little black structure here next to the water valve. This thing's purpose is unclear, at least until you lift the water tank off of it. It is probably nothing more than a simple magnet used to trip a reed switch inside this plastic casing when the water tank has been removed from the unit. Finally, here's a look at the unit's power consumption. As you can see, what with it being a heating element, it draws a pretty fair amount of power, between 334 and 338 watts, as I've sat here and watched the kilowatts display prior to making this video. You can compare that to an ultrasonic or impeller type humidifier's draw of somewhere between 15 and 45 watts worth of power. Therefore, a humidifier like this might not make a whole lot of sense if you live in an area where electricity is particularly expensive. And if we go ahead and turn the moisture output switch to the lower position, you can see that the power draw is reduced by approximately half, which tends to support the theory that there may in fact be a diode in there. Thank you for watching, and feel free to leave a comment if you have one.